Good morning, children. Your old Capmeister here. And it is time to start asshole consulting because we have gotten hit with a ton of it, which is good for me. If you have questions, as long as you got money, Cappy's got answers at assholeconsulting.com. Hired, aka asshole. Heard about you on Tom Likas' show some years back. God, the good old Tom Likas. I heard he was coming back. I hope he does, and I know he did a cigar podcast, something more of a fun hobby for him. But yeah, I was never on the Tom Likas show, but he was kind enough to advertise some of my books. I owe Tom Likas a lot of it. If he was still around, I recommend you guys go advertise with him. I faced enjoyed the decline on audiobook and made it through about half of Bachelor Pad Economics. Please never you'll use that narrator again. So I'm familiar with your philosophy, but could use some tailored advice. Let me start with the positive. I'm not married, no children, or independence. I take care of myself, appear younger than my age, though I'm now 43. Unfortunately, I have a mountain of student debt, about $200,000. Though I've been a lawyer since 2007, doing shitty low-rent work until a colleague took me under his wing in 2014, giving me a bit of a part-time experience in IT and software law. Let me get a job as a place at a company. We'll just leave it at that. Although a great resume builder, the pay wasn't worth the stress level of working at a company run by 30-somethings with zero prior executive experience and living in a large town with congested traffic, frequent flooding, and I won't mention where because this, but yes, that is a problem in that area of the country. Another environmental concern that would make humans uncomfortable. I've always wanted to live overseas, though not as a digital nomad, much less a grungy backpacker, ESL teacher type. Last year, I told my boss that because the company wanted to relocate me overseas due to drying up international business, they should plan to replace me by the end of the year. This place was simply killing my soul. They offered me no equity in the company. I'm single, no kids in school, blah, blah, blah. Hilariously, it took them nearly 6 months to find my replacement. Yeah, they're all, especially if you've been there a while, like whether you realize it or not, you've taken on several roles and have been trained in them. If not, you've developed them yourself. And it's not like employees with that much experience. It's just simple. We're going to replace the alternator. We're going to replace Frank. It doesn't work that way. All of a sudden, then they got to find someone. And, they got to be dicks about it, too. We're going to analyze it. We really need to get someone in here. That's you must start ASAP. 6 months later, job still posted. Haven't found anyone. They're like elite little girls in the United States, just waiting for their prince to come. My prince is around the corner. Meanwhile, guys are like, I think you're cute. You want to go out? Just didn't have a feel. He's not I'm a Scorpio and he's a Cancer. Just wouldn't work out. During that time, I had a chance to check out a few cities for relocation. Other observations. Conclusion: the next city must have good public transport and be walkable, as I am beyond sick and tired of driving everywhere. Well, live near where you work. Insist on telecommuting. If you're a lawyer, you don't need to physically be there. I'm sure maybe occasionally you got to sign a document or something, but most lawyer work, that's paper. That's computers. DC is logical. I have friends there and love the international vibe, and the people seem cool when I visited for 2 weeks in last November. I still want to stay within the IT software realm, but data privacy is a closely related sphere with constantly changing landscape due to the GDPR and new U.S. state laws. It's also an area which affects international law and business. If I want to live overseas, I should go ahead and do it. Waiting for a company here to send me overseas is too passive. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, if you got any money saved up, I'd go now. Well, flights are cheap. Hotels are cheap. So many deals fall apart. Misunderstandings occur with international customers. My long-term career goes to bridge that gap, either working a European company selling to U.S. customers or vice versa. However, as I don't have decades experience yet, the fastest way to understand the European business culture, I should go live there. Germany is at the top of the list as I've studied the language for many years. I can get proficient pretty quickly, and the German temperament suits my personality. Germans seem to generally care less about image, avoid much of the ills of a consumer-obsessed economy. I'd go along with that. I think of Florian. Florian is not like, oh my goodness, I need the fanciest clothes ever. Public transport, walkability, outdoor activities. German rubs some of some the wrong way, but I've always had a good rapport with them both here and in Germany. It was a quote from the video game Armed and Dangerous. The guy says, "Mercy, it's about as funny as a room full of Germans in here." I also speak other languages, but the places you can move with that, I see you're very unique in having these skill links. So I don't want to mention the other one, but there's no the countries that speak that language you can't go to because there's no opportunity. Man, we'll find a job in Germany, but if I stay there just long enough to get fluent, I could still bounce to DC. There are document view temporary contract jobs for lawyers fluent in other languages. They are most common in New York, DC, and they pay about $60 to $75 an hour, decent income while looking for a permanent gig. If I did land a job in Germany as America legal and or data privacy advisor, probably at a mid-sized Mittelstand company, I do see myself eventually returning to the United States. My 5 to 10 year goal is to be in a position where I could reliably find a in-house counsel job paying up to $250,000 a year. I'm pretty frugal overall and could pay down a lot of debt quickly and save up a little bit. Well, how did you not pay your $200,000 down if you're living so frugally? $22,000 in savings. You got 401k. Writing out the thing and by working remotely, bringing in $1,000 a week. Staying rent-free in an unused private bedroom. Friend owes you a favor. That's great. Cobra car payments. Why do you have car payments? Oh, you know what? I know why you have car payments. Because lawyers are dickheads. Not you personally, but lawyers are dickheads. I think you're going to agree. It's like the realtors. Realtors need fancy cars to show how successful they are, although they haven't sold a fucking house. If you're going to use public transportation, just don't get a car. Storage fees. Student loans are deferred until September, at which time they'll be recalculated at my new and much reduced income level. With all the above in mind, how insane am I for contemplating a move overseas? Should I just give it up and relocate to DC and start leveraging my way up the ladder? Or is it worth a shot to try and go to Germany, except that I might have to scrape bottom of the barrel as an English teacher until I land a gig? With everyone acting so timid and limp-wristed in the face of this pandemic, I feel now is the time to be bold and fend on. Video response would be great. I trust your judgment. Edit out details as necessary. Anonymous. Blah, 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 blah. I want to know, what have you been making at these jobs? What kind of money can you expect to make in DC? Your beginning ones were under 100,000. You did get on some German work, and you made about $60 an hour. That's not, man can live off of that and pay down his student loans, by which that's our money, by the way. Please pay that back. And then you left making over 130. DC, you can make 150 to 180. Okay, look, here, there's two things, two variables, but mainly because of the coronavirus. It is unlikely, okay, it's not unlikely, it is less likely you will land a job as a lawyer because of the great and merciful Corona Chan. So it is also cheaper flights, cheaper housing, cheaper travel, cheaper rent, hotels because of the coronavirus. I would go overseas now while you can to learn German. If you'd like to German, whatever. Or travel around. You got a little bit of cash, you can do it. But it's going to be a working vacation. You're going to learn the language, but then you're also going to start applying for jobs. I think if this was a normal economy and, there wasn't going to be this lull and maybe you get a job at any time in DC, I'd say, well, no, you master German first. You pay off your student loans. You go work in DC, and no matter what job you get, as long as it pays the money, shut the fuck up and give us back our money. That's what I would say, because you have a huge obligation to other people who slaved away and gave up parts of their life so you could have that 200,000. That is your number one moral obligation. But with the great merciful Corona Chan making it so jobs are not bountiful. Employers are a little bit, everyone's got hiring freezes, things like that. But at the same time, lowering travel costs, I'd go overseas. Yeah, go to Germany. Here's another thing. How do you know you'd even like Germany? There's a whole bunch of other variables you got to figure out before. Oh yeah, I'm just going to plot myself at Germany. What if you go there and you find out, my goodness, I don't know what Germany. I hate over-engineered cars that are way too expensive to fix. I hate carby caloric food. I hate Boosterhausen. I hate Lederhosen. I hate those guys with the alpine hats and the feathers coming out. Whatever. You don't like Germany. Well, now you solved that problem. But regardless, you're going to have to conduct reconnaissance to, anyway. So I take at least 2 weeks to go to Germany. Now, while you're there, this is just a reconnoiter. This is just to do reconnaissance. But you're also going to apply for jobs in D.C. And you can apply for jobs in Germany. I hope, go ahead, right. But you got to be applying for jobs. I kind of like the gig you got now. You're already a digital nomad. $1,000 a week. What is that? Remotely? That's $52,000 a year. See, if you didn't fuck up and have all that debt, you be set. You $52,000 a year working remotely, you could go be a digital nomad with the job you got now. Matter of fact, if you could hold on to that job, can you do it not in the United States? I work remotely for a company. Yeah. Do you have to be in the United States for that job? Can you just take that job? Then you could go to Germany for as long as you'd like. Why can't you log in from Germany or get a VPN and make it look like you're in the United States? That's what I would do. Keep this job is like a great ace up your sleeve because you won't starve with it. So I would keep that job, see if you could do that job in Germany, and then explore Germany to your heart's content. Either you land a job there or you get a job in D.C. And if you hate the town you're in now, and with summer coming up, I could see why you're going to hate it a little bit more. I'd take your little job here that pays more than enough, and I'd go live well. But get rid of your car. What the fuck? Does nobody read? I have here. Chapter 7? No, that's girls. Chapter 9, cars and transportation. What are you doing with a car? I know you got to keep image, but you're not at the law firm anymore. So get rid of the damn thing. Although now you can't because all the cars are being flooded on the market. So market prices of cars have gone down. Aaron, I got lung cancer. I think I should quit smoking. Well, I guess. Okay, I don't know. We might as well continue on now. It doesn't make any sense now. But yeah, if you could take that job anywhere you go, do it from anywhere. Yeah, the world is your oyster. You're not going to pay down your debts until you get another job, but that's what I would do. Keep working that gig, whether here in the United States or overseas. Start sending out applications, and if you get a job, in DC, ideally. Cool. But if you can have that job is going to allow you to go and reconnoiter other areas. Have you been to DC? Do you know you really want to work in DC? What about, I'm trying to think of a smaller town, Nashville. What about Knoxville? What about Tampa? What about Charleston? There's other jobs, other places. But yeah, you're just gonna have to keep applying for jobs. So it's not crazy. You're not crazy for wanting to go overseas. Now's the time to kind of dip your toe in and see what's going on, see what other hurdles you're going to run into, immigration or otherwise. Maybe hone your skills in German, keep applying, keep making money online. And then, but until you get rid of that 200,000, man, because you were so close. If you didn't have that 200,000, if you certainly didn't have your car loan, for the $52,000 you do this thing online, you could go live anywhere. You could have had it. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, if you got to DC and made that money, for God's sake, be a minimalist. Start banking your money and paying off that student loan. That's what I would do. Okay, any super chats? No, good. All right. You guys got questions? Cappy got answers over at asshleconsulting.com. I'm going to get some more coffee. We'll continue on with the consulting later. Toodles.